I tracked my wife's AirTag to the same apartment every Thursday for 2 months. Turns out she's been living a double life as her own twin sister. I'm shaking as I write this. My hands won't stop trembling. I found out 3 hours ago and I still can't fucking process it. My wife Sarah has been going to therapy every Thursday evening for the past 6 months. 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., like clockwork. She'd come home calmer, more centered, sometimes a little tired. I was proud of her for taking care of her mental health. I even bragged about it to my buddies at the gym. Yeah, man, Sarah's really doing the work on herself, you know? I'm a fucking idiot. Let me back up. We've been married for 4 years, together for 7. Sarah's amazing. Was amazing? I don't even know what tense to use anymore. She's a marketing manager, works from home mostly. We have a great apartment in Brooklyn, 2 cats, Sunday morning pancake tradition, all that couple shit that's supposed to mean something. She's been my person since I was 25. I'm 32 now, and I genuinely thought I knew everything about her. Here's what I didn't know. Sarah has a twin sister. Not had. Has. Present tense. Living, breathing, same-faced twin sister. You're probably thinking, how the fuck do you not know your wife has a twin? Trust me, I've been asking myself the same question for the past 3 hours while I've been sitting in my car outside a Starbucks because I can't go home yet. Sarah told me she was an only child. Her parents died in a car accident when she was 19, before we met. No siblings. No extended family, really. Just a couple of distant cousins she never talked to. I met them at our wedding. Nice people. Didn't stick around for the reception very long. She said it was too painful to be around family stuff sometimes, the reminders of what she lost. I got it. My parents are divorced and kind of shitty, so I understood having a complicated relationship with family. We built our own family. That's what she always said. We're our own family now, Marcus. We're enough. Except we weren't our own family. There was a whole other Sarah out there, living 20 minutes away, seeing my wife every single Thursday. I need to explain how I found out. It's so stupid. It started with an AirTag. 2 months ago, Sarah lost her keys for like the 3rd time. She's always losing shit. Phone, wallet, keys, you name it. So I got her an AirTag for her keychain. Thought I was being a good husband. Helpful. Thoughtful. She seemed weird about it when I gave it to her. Not ungrateful exactly, just hesitant. You don't trust me? She asked. What? No, babe, you literally lost your keys in the freezer last month. This is just practical. She laughed, kissed me. You're right, I'm paranoid. Thank you. She put it on her keychain that day. I showed her how the Find My app worked, how she could ping it if she misplaced her keys. She seemed fine with it after that. Grateful. Even. Here's the thing about AirTags that I didn't really think about. They track location history. I wasn't trying to spy on her. I swear to God I wasn't. Last week I was looking for my own AirPods using Find My, and I accidentally clicked on Sarah's AirTag instead. And I saw it. The same address. Every Thursday evening. 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. For the past 2 months since I gave her the tag. 742 Riverside Drive, apartment 6C. Not a therapy office, a residential building. At first, I told myself there were reasonable explanations. Maybe her therapist worked from home? Some therapists do that, right? Maybe it was one of those trendy Brooklyn therapy practices in a converted apartment. But it nagged at me. Thursday after Thursday, the exact same place. And something about the way Sarah talked about therapy felt off. She never mentioned her therapist's name, never talked about specific things they discussed. Just vague stuff like, we talked about childhood patterns, or I'm working through some family stuff. Family stuff? Jesus Christ. I did what any suspicious husband would do. I Googled the address. No therapy practice, just a regular apartment building in Riverside. I looked it up on Street View. Kind of a nice building, actually. Doorman, well-maintained, not cheap. I tried to let it go. I really did. But it ate at me. What was at that apartment? Who was at that apartment? Last Thursday, I did something I'm not proud of. I left work early and I followed her. I know how that sounds. But I had to know. The not knowing was killing me worse than any answer could. I parked down the street from our apartment and waited. At 5:45 p.m., Sarah came out wearing her usual Thursday outfit. Jeans, comfortable sweater, hair in a ponytail. She looked exactly like she was going to therapy. Calm, normal. She had her tote bag with her water bottle and what I assumed was her journal. She took an Uber. I followed in my car. Straight to 742 Riverside Drive. She went inside. The doorman nodded at her like he knew her, like she'd been there before. Many times before. I sat in my car for 3 hours. I don't know what I was expecting. For her to come out with someone? For some guy to appear in the window? I felt crazy. I felt like I was losing my mind. At 8:45 p.m. she came out. Alone. Same outfit. Same tote bag. She looked fine. Normal. Maybe a little tired. She got another Uber and went home. I waited 10 minutes and then drove home separately. When I got there, she was making tea in the kitchen. "Hey babe, how was your day?" she asked, like nothing was weird, like she hadn't just spent 3 hours in some random apartment. "Good. Busy. How was therapy?" "Good. Really good session today. We talked about trust issues, actually." She smiled at me over her mug, feeling a lot better about things. Trust issues, the fucking irony. I wanted to confront her right there. I wanted to scream, "Who the fuck lives in that apartment?" But something stopped me. Some instinct that told me I didn't have the full story yet. "That's great, babe. I'm glad it's helping." That night, I barely slept. I kept thinking about that building, that apartment, the doorman who recognized her. Friday morning, after Sarah started working in her home office, I called the building. I pretended to be a delivery driver. "Hi, yeah, I have a package for apartment 6C. What's the name on the buzzer again? Want to make sure I'm at the right place?" "That would be Emma Castellano," the doorman said. "But she's usually not home during the day. Better to deliver after 6 p.m. Emma Castellano. I'd never heard that name in my life. I Googled her. Nothing came up. No social media, no LinkedIn, no Facebook. It's 2024. Everyone has some kind of online presence. But Emma Castellano? Ghost. That weekend was torture. Sarah was completely normal. We went to brunch on Saturday, watched a movie Saturday night. She laughed at all the right parts. We had sex Sunday morning. She made pancakes after, like always. She was affectionate. Present. My Sarah. But I kept thinking about Thursday, about Emma Castellano, about the apartment my wife disappeared into for 3 hours every week. Monday, I made a decision. I was going to that apartment. I was going to knock on that door and find out what the fuck was going on. Tuesday, I couldn't focus at work. My coworker Dan asked if I was okay. "Yeah, just a lot on my mind." "Sarah okay?" Yeah, she's fine." Was she fine? Was I fine? What the fuck was happening? Wednesday night, Sarah mentioned she might skip therapy this week. "I'm feeling pretty good lately," she said. "Might take a week off." My stomach dropped. "No, you should go. You've been doing so well. You shouldn't break the momentum." She looked at me funny. "You really think so?" "Absolutely. Mental health is important. You should stick with it." Why was I encouraging her to go? Why did I want her to go to this mysterious apartment? Because I needed to know. I needed to see this through. "Okay," she said. "You're right. I'll go." Thursday. Today. 3 hours ago. I left work at 3 p.m. Told my boss I had a family emergency. Not technically a lie. I got to 742 Riverside Drive at 5 p.m. I sat in my car. I waited. 5:50 p.m. Sarah showed up. Same routine. Doorman nodded. She went inside. I waited 15 minutes. Then I got out of my car. I walked into that building like I belonged there. The doorman looked at me. "I'm here for 6C, I said. Confident. Like I'd been there 100 times. "Miss Castellano's expecting you?" "Yeah." He nodded and I walked past him to the elevator. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. 6th floor. Apartment C. White door. Normal door. There was a welcome mat that said "Home Sweet Home." I stood there for a full minute. My hand was raised to knock, but I couldn't make myself do it. What was I going to find? An affair? Was my wife cheating on me? Was Emma Castellano some guy named Emma? Or was it a woman? Was Sarah gay? Bi? Having an affair with a woman named Emma? I knocked. Footsteps. The door opened, and I saw my wife, Sarah, standing in the doorway. Same face, same hair, same everything. Wearing different clothes, a blue dress I'd never seen before. But Sarah. "Can I help you?" she asked, and her voice was different. Not different, but the cadence was off. The tone. Like someone doing a really good impression of my wife, but not quite nailing it. "Sarah?" I said. She frowned. "I'm sorry, I think you have the wrong apartment. My name is Emma." Emma. Emma Castellano. This woman who looked exactly like my wife was Emma. I'm Marcus. I'm Sarah's husband." The color drained from her face. Not Sarah's face. Emma's face. "Oh fuck," she said. "Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck." "What the fuck is going on?" I said. My voice was shaking. "Who are you? Why do you look exactly like my wife?" "You need to leave," Emma said. But she wasn't closing the door. She was just staring at me, frozen. "I'm not leaving until someone tells me what the fuck is happening. Where's Sarah? Is she here?" "She's not here. She won't be here until 6. "So she is coming here. My wife comes here every Thursday to see you, a woman who looks exactly like her, and neither of you thought to mention this to me?" Emma's eyes filled with tears. You weren't supposed to find out like this. She was going to tell you, eventually. Tell me what? That she has a fucking twin sister? That she's been lying to me for 7 years? I'm not supposed to exist, Emma said quietly. In Sarah's life. I'm not supposed to be part of it. What the fuck does that mean? Please come inside, Emma said. You deserve to know everything. But please, come inside. The neighbors don't need to hear this. I followed her into the apartment. It was nice. Tastefully decorated. Lots of plants. Artwork on the walls. A bookshelf full of books. A life. A whole life that existed parallel to my wife's. We sat down in her living room. She was across from me on a chair. I was on the couch. There was a coffee table between us with a half-finished puzzle. Sarah loves puzzles. We do them together on rainy Sundays. Start talking, I said. Emma took a deep breath. Sarah and I are twins. Identical twins. We're 29, not 31 like she told you. Another lie. Jesus Christ. Our parents aren't dead, Emma continued. They're alive. They live in Connecticut. We grew up in Westport. I felt like I was going to throw up. Every word was another knife. When we were 16, Sarah did something really bad. I'm not going to tell you what that's her story to tell if she wants. But it was bad enough that our parents gave her an ultimatum. Go to boarding school, get intensive therapy, start over completely. Clean slate. And she went. She went to boarding school in Vermont for 2 years. When she graduated, she decided she wanted to completely reinvent herself. New name, well, same first name, but new middle name, new last name, new age, new backstory. She wanted to become someone else entirely. Why? Because she hated who she was, because of what she did, because she couldn't forgive herself. Emma wiped her eyes. Our parents supported it. They thought it was grief, trauma, that she'd come back to us eventually. But she never did. She moved to New York after college, created this whole new identity. Sarah Castellano became Sarah Mitchell. She changed her birthday, made herself 2 years older, created this story about being an only child with dead parents. And you just let her? What was I supposed to do? She's my sister, my twin. We were so close before everything happened. And after, she barely spoke to me. She said being around me reminded her too much of who she used to be, of what she did. So you just disappeared from her life? For a while, yeah. We didn't talk for years. Our parents were heartbroken. I was heartbroken. But Sarah needed space, and we gave it to her. Emma paused. Then about 6 months ago, she reached out, said she wanted to try to have a relationship again, but it had to be a secret. You couldn't know. No one in her new life could know. She's built this whole identity, and she can't risk it unraveling. So every Thursday, she comes here, we hang out, talk, work on our relationship, try to be sisters again. Emma smiled sadly. The therapy thing was her idea, easier than explaining where she was really going. I sat there. I couldn't speak. I couldn't think. My wife had a twin sister. My wife's parents were alive. My wife was 2 years younger than she claimed. My wife's entire identity was a lie. Why? I finally asked. Why lie to me? If she wanted to reconnect with you, why not just tell me the truth? Because then she'd have to explain everything else. The lies about her age, her parents, her past. It would all come out. I deserve to know. I know. I told her that. Every week I tell her she needs to tell you. But she's terrified. She loves you so much, Marcus. She talks about you constantly. About how you're the best thing that ever happened to her. How you see her as this good person, and she's terrified that if you knew who she really was, you'd leave. Who she really is, I said. I don't even know who she really is. The woman I married doesn't fucking exist. Emma flinched. She exists. Sarah, the Sarah you know, she's real. She's the person my sister became, the person she wanted to be. Built on lies. Built on a desire to be better than who she was. What did she do? I asked. What was so bad that she had to fake her own identity? I can't tell you that. I'm sorry. That's her story. Fuck that. You're telling me my entire marriage is based on a lie and you can't even tell me why? It's not my place. I don't give a fuck whose place it is. Tell me. Emma shook her head. Tears were streaming down her face. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't betray her like that. I stood up. I was pacing. I felt like the room was spinning. This is insane. This is fucking insane. People don't do this. People don't just create fake identities and marry someone and lie for 7 years. People do all kinds of things when they're running from their past, Emma said quietly. The front door opened. Sarah walked in. My Sarah, my wife, wearing her therapy outfit, holding her tote bag, her hair in a ponytail. She saw me and dropped the bag. Her water bottle rolled across the floor. "Marcus," she whispered. "Oh my God, Marcus." "Surprise," I said. My voice sounded dead, empty. Sarah looked at Emma, then back at me. "How did you—" "The AirTag. I saw you coming here every week. I followed you. I came here to find out who the fuck Emma Castellano was." I gestured at Emma. "Turns out she's your twin sister. The one who doesn't exist. The one you forgot to mention in 7 years of being together." "I can explain. Can you? Can you explain why you've been lying to me since the day we met? Can you explain why your parents are alive but I've never met them? Can you explain why you're not actually 31? Can you explain any of this?" Sarah was crying now, full-on sobbing. "I was going to tell you. I swear I was going to tell you." "When? On our 10th anniversary? Our 20th? When, Sarah? Or is your name even Sarah?" "My name is Sarah. That's always been my name." "But not Sarah Mitchell. You're Sarah Castellano." "I legally changed it. I am Sarah Mitchell now." "Legally." "Right. So you can lie to your husband legally." "I never meant to lie to you. I never meant for any of this." "But you did!" I shouted. "You did lie. Every day for 7 years. Every time I asked about your family and you said they were dead. Every time you told me you were an only child. Every time I looked at you and thought I knew you." My voice cracked. "I don't know you at all." "You do know me. The person I am with you, that's who I really am. That's the real me." "How the fuck am I supposed to believe anything you say?" Sarah collapsed onto the couch. Emma moved to sit next to her, but I held up my hand. "Don't, just don't." We sat in silence, Sarah crying, Emma crying, me standing there feeling like my entire world had shattered. "What did you do?" I asked again. "What was so bad that you had to erase yourself?" Sarah looked up at me. Her eyes were red and swollen. She looked destroyed. "I killed someone," she said. The room went silent. "What?" I whispered. "When I was 16, I killed someone, not on purpose. It was an accident. But I killed them and I had to live with it and I couldn't, so I became someone else instead." I sat down. My legs wouldn't hold me anymore. "Who?" "A boy from my school. His name was Tyler. We were at a party. I was drinking. I was so drunk. Tyler was drunk too. He wanted to drive home, and I should have stopped him, but instead I got in the car with him and 2 other girls from school." Sarah's voice was flat, robotic, like she was reciting facts. "Tyler wrapped the car around a tree. He died at the scene. The 2 other girls survived. One of them was paralyzed from the waist down. I walked away with a concussion and a broken arm." "Jesus Christ," I said. "I was charged with a lot of things. Underage drinking, contributing to delinquency, other stuff. My parents got a good lawyer. I got probation, community service, mandatory therapy. But the guilt." She looked at me. "The guilt never went away. Everyone in my town knew. Everyone at my school knew. I was the girl who killed Tyler Brennan. I got death threats. His parents tried to sue my family. My friends stopped talking to me. Emma stood by me, but I could see how she looked at me differently. I didn't—" Emma started, but Sarah cut her off. "You did. Everyone did. And I deserved it. So when I had the chance to go to boarding school somewhere no one knew me, I took it. And when I graduated, I decided that Sarah Castellano, the girl who killed someone, she needed to stop existing. So I killed her off too. Dead parents, fresh start, new life. I couldn't process this. I literally could not make my brain understand what she was telling me. You've been lying about a vehicular manslaughter for 7 years. It wasn't manslaughter. I wasn't driving. But yes, I've been lying about it. I've been lying about all of it. Did you ever plan to tell me? I don't know. Maybe, someday. But the longer it went on, the harder it got. How do you tell someone you love that your entire life is a lie? You just do, I said. You trust them. You trust that they love you enough to understand. Do you? Sarah asked. Do you understand? Can you love me knowing this? I looked at her. This woman I'd been married to for 4 years. This woman I'd built a life with. This woman I didn't know at all. I don't know, I said honestly. I don't know anything right now. I stood up. I needed to leave. I needed air. I needed space. Where are you going? Sarah asked. I don't know. Away from here. Away from you. I need to think. Marcus, please. Don't. Just don't. I can't do this right now. I left. I walked out of that apartment and I didn't look back. I heard Sarah crying behind me, but I couldn't turn around. I got in my car and I've been driving around for the past 3 hours. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to process this. My wife has a secret twin sister. My wife isn't the age I thought she was. My wife's parents are alive. My wife was involved in someone's death when she was 16. Everything is a lie. Everything. I keep thinking about our wedding, about how Sarah cried when she saw me at the altar, about how she said, "I've never been this happy in my entire life." Was that true, or was that a lie too? I think about Sunday morning pancakes, about the way she laughs at my stupid jokes, about how she curls into me at night like she's trying to burrow into my skin, about how she tells me she loves me every single day. Is any of it real? Is she real? I'm sitting in a Starbucks parking lot writing this because I can't go home. I can't face her. I can't even think about her without feeling like I'm going to shatter into a million pieces. My phone keeps buzzing. Sarah's calling, texting. Emma's texting too. Sarah, I'm so sorry. Please come home. Please let me explain more. Sarah, I love you. I know you don't believe me right now, but I love you more than anything. Sarah, the person I am with you is the real me, the best version of me. You made me that person. Emma, I'm sorry you found out like this. For what it's worth, Sarah really does love you. I see it every time she talks about you. Emma, she's not a bad person. She made a mistake when she was a kid, and it's haunted her ever since. Please don't give up on her. I don't know what to do. I need advice. I need someone to tell me if I'm crazy for even considering forgiving her, or if I'm crazy for thinking about leaving. Because here's the thing. Part of me wants to go home. Part of me wants to hold her and tell her it's okay and we'll figure this out. Part of me loves her so fucking much that even after all of this, I can't imagine my life without her. But part of me knows I can't trust anything she says anymore. Part of me knows that building a marriage on lies, even lies meant to escape trauma, is no way to build anything real. I don't know which part to listen to. Update, 2 hours later. I'm still in the parking lot. I started getting comments and messages, and honestly, it's helping to read other people's perspectives. Some of you think I should leave immediately. Some of you think everyone deserves a second chance. Some of you think I'm an idiot for even considering staying. You're probably all right. I called my brother, told him everything. He was silent for a long time, and then he said, "That's the craziest shit I've ever heard. You need to come stay with me tonight." So I'm going to my brother's place. I'm going to sleep on it. Or try to sleep. I texted Sarah and told her I need space and time, and I'll contact her when I'm ready. She responded immediately. "Take all the time you need. I'll be here. I love you." I don't know if that makes it better or worse. Update 2, next day. I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about everything. This morning, my brother made me breakfast and we talked for hours. He asked good questions, hard questions. Do you think she would have ever told you if you hadn't found out? I don't know. Do you think she's capable of being honest now? I don't know. Do you still love her? I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Fuck, I don't know. He told me I needed to talk to her, have a real conversation, get all the answers I need, then decide. So I texted Sarah and told her I'd come by the apartment later today. She said she'd be there. She'd tell me everything. I'm scared. I'm terrified of what else I might find out. But I need to know. I need the full truth before I can decide anything. I'll update after we talk. Update 3, evening. I went home. Sarah was there. She'd been crying. I could tell from her swollen eyes. She'd made coffee. We sat at our kitchen table, the same table where we'd had breakfast 1,000 times, and she told me everything. The full story of that night. How drunk she was. How Tyler grabbed the keys and she didn't fight him hard enough. How she remembered the sound of the impact. How she woke up in the hospital and learned Tyler was dead. How his parents blamed her. How her own parents looked at her with disappointment and fear. She told me about the 2 years of therapy, about the PTSD, about the nightmares she still has sometimes where she's trapped in a car that's spinning out of control. "Why didn't you tell me about the nightmares?" I asked. "I've seen you wake up panicking. You said it was anxiety about work." "Because I didn't want you to ask questions I wasn't ready to answer." She told me about changing her name legally when she was 20, about how her parents cried but supported her decision, about how Emma was angry at first, felt abandoned. "We didn't talk for 3 years, Sarah said. Emma reached out when she moved to New York for grad school. That was 6 years ago. We'd meet up occasionally, but it was awkward, like we were strangers who happened to share a face." "What changed 6 months ago?" "Emma's therapist suggested she reach out again, try to repair our relationship, so she did, and I missed her. I missed my sister. So I said yes." Sarah looked at me. "But I was terrified of you finding out, because if you knew about Emma, you'd ask why I never mentioned her, and then everything would unravel. So you lied." So I lied. We talked for hours. I asked everything I could think of. Her real age, her real birthday, her parents' names, where they lived, everything. Sarah answered every single question. No more lies, no more omissions. Do your parents know about me? I asked. Yes, I told them I got married. They wanted to meet you, but I said it was complicated. They were hurt, but they understood. They understood their daughter was pretending they were dead? Sarah flinched. They knew what I needed to heal. This was what I needed. That's not healing, Sarah. That's hiding. I know that now. I've known that for a while. That's why I reconnected with Emma. That's why I've been trying to figure out how to tell you. I ran out of time. I asked her the hardest question. If I hadn't found out, would you ever have told me? She was quiet for a long time. I want to say yes. I want to tell you I was planning to sit you down next month or next year and come clean. But honestly, I don't know. The longer it went on, the easier it was to just keep living the lie. And I'm so ashamed of that. At least that was honest. We talked about Tyler, about the guilt she still carries, about how she goes to his grave every year on the anniversary and leaves flowers anonymously. His parents would call the police if they knew it was me, she said, but I need to do it. I need to remember. I need to make sure I never forget what I did. It was an accident, I said. You didn't kill him. He drove drunk. That was his choice. I got in the car. That was my choice. I didn't argue. She was right. And she'd been living with that weight for 13 years. By the end of the conversation, I was exhausted, emotionally wrung out. But I had all the information, the full truth. Finally. What now? Sarah asked. What happens now? I don't know, I said honestly. I need time. I need to figure out if I can trust you again. Can you? I don't know. She nodded, started crying again. I understand if you want to leave. I understand if you can't forgive this. I just want you to know that everything I felt for you was real. Every moment we shared. Every I love you. That was all real. The person I am with you. That's who I really am. That's the person I wanted to become. But you became her by lying to me. I know, and I'll regret that for the rest of my life. I left again, went back to my brother's. I've been here for the past few hours. I don't know what to do. Part of me understands. She was 16, she made a terrible mistake. She's been trying to outrun it ever since. Part of me thinks everyone deserves a chance to reinvent themselves. But part of me can't get past the lies. Can't get past the fact that she looked me in the eye every day for 7 years and chose not to tell me the truth. Update 4, 3 days later. I've been staying at my brother's. Sarah and I have been texting, but I haven't gone home. I needed space to think. Today I did something I probably shouldn't have done. I looked up Tyler Brennan. It wasn't hard to find information. There were news articles from 13 years ago, local news coverage, a memorial website his parents set up. Tyler was 17. He played lacrosse. He wanted to study engineering. He had a girlfriend who wrote a heartbreaking tribute about how much she missed him. The articles mentioned the crash, mentioned that Tyler was driving drunk with 3 passengers. One passenger, a girl named Amy, was paralyzed. 2 others, including Sarah, were injured but survived. The articles also mentioned that Tyler had been drinking heavily at the party, that multiple people tried to get his keys, that he was belligerent and insisted he was fine to drive. It didn't excuse Sarah getting in the car, but it did give me context. I also found Tyler's parents. They still live in Connecticut. They started a foundation in Tyler's name that focuses on drunk driving awareness and prevention. I thought about reaching out to them, asking them about that night, but I didn't. That's not my story to involve myself in. Instead, I called Emma. Thank you for talking to me the other day, I said. I know that was hard. How are you holding up? I've been better. Can I ask you something? Of course. Was Sarah a good person before the accident? Emma was quiet for a moment. Sarah was a great person. She was fun and spontaneous and caring. She was the brave one. I was always the anxious twin. She looked out for people. That night was so out of character for her. She'd never been that drunk before. She wasn't a party kid. We were both kind of nerdy, honestly. What changed after? Everything. She became withdrawn, depressed. She blamed herself even though Tyler was the one who chose to drive. She couldn't forgive herself for not stopping him, for getting in the car, for surviving when he didn't. Emma paused. She became a different person, quieter, more careful, always trying to make up for that one night. Do you think she's been happy? With me? I think you're the best thing that ever happened to her. I think she finally felt like she could breathe again. like she could be someone other than the girl who killed Tyler Brennan. We talked for over an hour. Emma told me about their childhood, about how close they used to be, about how much it hurt when Sarah pushed her away. "Do you forgive her?" I asked. "For shutting you out?" "I'm trying to. That's what Thursdays are for. We're trying to rebuild what we lost." After we hung up, I sat with everything for a long time. I thought about Sarah at 16, drunk and terrified, watching her friend die. I thought about her carrying that guilt for 13 years. I thought about her trying to become someone who deserved to be happy. I thought about the woman I married, the woman who makes me laugh, who remembers my coffee order, who cries at dog videos, who holds me when I'm stressed, who built a life with me. Was that woman real, or was she a character Sarah created? I think she's both. I think Sarah became Sarah Mitchell because she needed to survive. And in becoming someone new, she became someone better. But she did it by lying to me, and I don't know if I can live with that. Update 5, 1 week later. I went home today. Sarah was there. She'd been staying at the apartment. I told her she didn't have to leave, that I was the one who needed space. The apartment looked the same, smelled the same, but everything felt different. "Hi," she said when I walked in. "Hi." We stood there, awkwardly. This woman I'd lived with for 4 years suddenly felt like a stranger. "I need to know something," I said. "Did you ever love me, or was I just part of the new identity you were building?" Sarah looked stricken. "I love you. I have loved you since our third date when you sang karaoke badly and didn't care who was watching. I love you more than I've ever loved anyone. You're not part of a fake identity. You're the most real thing in my life." How am I supposed to believe that when everything else was fake? Because you know me. You know me better than anyone. You've seen me at my worst, sick with the flu, crying over stupid things, angry and irrational. You've seen the real me. Have I, though? Because the real you has parents who are alive. The real you has a twin sister. The real you is 29, not 31. The real you was involved in someone's death. I don't know that person. "You do," Sarah insisted. "Those are facts about my past. But the person I am now, with you, that's who I really am. That's who I chose to become." I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to believe her. "I need to meet them," I said. "Your parents. Emma, properly, not just for 5 minutes in her apartment while I'm freaking out. I need to understand the full picture of who you are." Sarah nodded. "Okay, yes, anything you need. And we need to go to therapy. Real therapy. Together." "Absolutely. And no more lies. Not ever. Even if the truth is hard or ugly or makes you look bad. No more lies." "No more lies," Sarah agreed. "I promise." We stood there. I didn't know if I was making the right choice. I didn't know if I could rebuild trust. But I knew I wasn't ready to walk away. Not yet. "I'm not saying I forgive you," I said. "I'm not saying we're okay. I'm just saying I'm willing to try. If you're willing to be completely honest from now on." "I am. I swear to God I am." She moved toward me like she wanted to hug me, but stopped, waiting to see if I'd let her. I closed the distance. I hugged her. She clung to me and cried, and I held her even though I was still angry and hurt and confused. "I'm so sorry," she sobbed into my shoulder. "I'm so fucking sorry." "I know," I said. "I know." Update 6, 2 weeks later. We met with a couples therapist, Dr. Chen. She's tough but fair. She doesn't let Sarah off the hook, but she also helps me understand the trauma perspective. What your wife did, creating a new identity, that's not uncommon for people who experience severe trauma and guilt, Dr. Chen said. It's a maladaptive coping mechanism, but it's not malicious. "It still hurt me," I said. "Absolutely. Your pain is valid, and Sarah needs to understand the impact of her choices on you. We're going twice a week. It's hard. There are sessions where I want to walk out, where Sarah cries so hard she can't speak, where I say things I regret. But there are also moments of breakthrough, moments where I see Sarah, really see her, for the first time. The scared teenager, the traumatized young woman, the person trying desperately to outrun her past. It doesn't excuse the lies, but it helps me understand them. Last week, I met Sarah's parents. We drove to Connecticut on a Saturday. I was nervous as hell. They were nervous too. I could tell the moment we walked into their house. "Marcus," Sarah's mom said, pulling me into an unexpected hug. "We've wanted to meet you for so long." They looked exactly like I expected, older versions of Sarah and Emma. Same eyes, same smile. We had dinner. It was awkward at first, But then Sarah's dad started telling embarrassing stories about the twins as kids, and the tension broke. They were inseparable, he said. We couldn't tell them apart half the time. They'd switch classes in school just to mess with teachers. They had their own language when they were toddlers, Sarah's mom added. Complete gibberish, but they understood each other perfectly. I looked at Sarah. She was smiling, but it was sad. Nostalgic. After dinner, Sarah's mom pulled me aside. I know what Sarah did. Lying to you was wrong, she said. But I want you to know she's been punishing herself for 13 years, for Tyler, for everything. You're the first time we've seen her happy since she was 16. She should have told me the truth. You're right, she should have. But trauma makes people do things that don't make sense to anyone else. She wasn't trying to hurt you. She was trying to survive. I didn't know what to say to that. Before we left, Sarah's dad gave me his number. If you ever need to talk, he said. Father to son-in-law, or just man to man, I'm here. I appreciated that more than I could say. Update 7, 1 month later. Things are getting better. Slowly. It's not perfect. I still have moments where I look at Sarah and feel like I don't know her. Where I wonder what else she might be hiding. But we're working on it. We're both trying. Sarah gave me access to everything. Her phone, her email, her social media. I want you to feel like you can trust me again, she said. Whatever you need. I don't check her stuff obsessively, but knowing I can helps. We've been seeing Emma regularly. The three of us go to dinner once a week. It's still weird seeing them together. Two identical versions of my wife. But I'm getting used to it. Emma's actually really cool. She's funnier than Sarah, more outgoing. She's a social worker, works with at-risk teens. I wanted to help kids who were making the same mistakes we did, she told me once. Sarah's been more open about her nightmares. When she wakes up panicking now, she tells me what she dreamed about. Usually it's the crash. Sometimes it's Tyler. Sometimes it's me finding out her lies and leaving. I'm not leaving, I tell her. I'm here. We're working through this. She cries with relief every time. Dr. Chen says we're making good progress. You're both doing the work, she said last week. That's what matters. I asked Sarah last night if she regretted it. Any of it. The lying, the fake identity. All of it. I regret lying to you, she said. I regret hurting you. But do I regret trying to become someone better than the scared, guilty girl I was at 16? No, I don't regret that. Fair enough. Final update. 3 months later. I think we're going to be okay. It's not perfect. I still have trust issues. Sarah still has moments where she shuts down because she's afraid of saying the wrong thing. We're both damaged by this in ways that'll take years to fully heal, but we love each other, and we're both choosing to stay and do the work. Last week was our 5-year anniversary, or our 4-year wedding anniversary, I guess. We went to dinner. Sarah gave me a card. Inside, she'd written, I know I can't undo the lies. I can't give you back the version of me you thought you knew, but I can promise you the truth from now on. All of it, even the ugly parts. You deserve that. You deserve all of me, the real me. I love you. Sarah, age 29, daughter of Linda and Robert Castellano, twin sister of Emma, carrier of too much guilt but trying to do better. I laughed. I cried. I told her I loved her too. We're meeting with Tyler's parents next month. Sarah's been working up the courage to reach out to them through her therapist. She wants to apologize in person. Take responsibility. Stop hiding. I don't know if they'll ever forgive me, she said, but I need to try. I need to stop running. I told her I'd go with her if she wanted. She said yes. I also asked her to renew our vows. Do it properly this time, with her real family there, her parents, Emma. No more secrets. She said yes to that too. So that's where we are. Still married, still in love, still figuring out how to build a relationship on truth instead of carefully constructed lies. It's messy. It's hard. But it's real. Finally, after all these years, it's real. And I think that's worth fighting for. To everyone who commented and gave advice, thank you. Some of you said I was an idiot for staying. Maybe you're right. But this is my choice. My marriage, my life. And for what it's worth, I don't regret following that AirTag. As fucked up as all this has been, at least now I know the truth. At least now we have a chance to build something real. That's all any of us can ask for, right? Anyway, that's my story. My wife had a secret twin and a secret past, and I found out in the worst way possible. But we're still here, still trying, still loving each other despite everything. If you're going through something similar, if you've discovered your partner has been lying, I don't know what to tell you. Every situation is different, but I will say this. Trust your gut. Do what feels right for you, And don't let anyone else tell you what you should or shouldn't forgive. This is your life. Your choice. Choose wisely. Update 8, 4 months later. I need to update this because holy shit, things just got so much more complicated. Remember how I said we were going to meet with Tyler's parents? That we were working on rebuilding trust? That everything was slowly getting better? Yeah, about that. 2 weeks ago, Sarah and I drove back to Connecticut. We were meeting with Tyler's parents, Jim and Carol Brennan, at a coffee shop in their town. Neutral territory. Sarah's therapist had helped arrange it through some complicated chain of communication involving victim advocacy groups and restorative justice programs. Sarah was a wreck the entire drive up. She'd barely slept the night before. Kept asking me if she should have prepared a statement, if she should bring flowers, if she was doing the right thing. You're doing the brave thing, I told her. That's what matters. The coffee shop was small, quiet. We got there 15 minutes early. Sarah ordered tea she didn't drink. I had coffee I didn't taste. We sat at a corner table and waited. When Jim and Carol walked in, I knew them immediately. Jim had Tyler's eyes. I'd seen them in the memorial photos. Carol looked exhausted in a way that went bone deep. The kind of exhaustion that comes from 13 years of grief. They saw Sarah and something flickered across both their faces. Pain. Recognition. Anger, maybe. We all sat down. Nobody knew how to start. Finally, Carol spoke. You look different than I remember. I am different, Sarah said quietly. I've spent 13 years trying to be different. Different enough to finally face us? Sarah flinched but didn't look away. I'm sorry it took this long. I'm sorry for everything. I know sorry doesn't... You're right, Jim interrupted. Sorry doesn't do much. Sorry doesn't bring our son back. I know. Do you? Carol asked. Her voice was shaking. Do you really know? Do you wake up every day and remember that our boy is dead? That he'll never graduate college or get married or give us grandchildren? Do you carry that? Every single day, Sarah said. Every single day I wake up and remember. I remember the sound of the crash. I remember Tyler slumped over the wheel. I remember the ambulance. I remember finding out he died. And I remember that I could have stopped it and I didn't. You got in the car with him, Jim said. You knew he was drunk. I did. And I will regret that choice for the rest of my life. We sat there. The silence was suffocating. Why now? Carol asked. Why reach out after all these years? Sarah glanced at me, then back at them. Because I got married. Because I have someone I love and who loves me. Because I started to build a life that felt real and good. And I realized I couldn't fully live that life while I was still hiding from what I did. So this is about you feeling better, Jim said bitterly. No. Yes, partially. Sarah took a shaky breath. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't expect you to absolve me or tell me it's okay because it's not okay. It will never be okay. I just wanted you to know that Tyler mattered, that his death mattered, that I've spent every day since then trying to be someone who deserves to still be alive. Carol started crying, quiet tears that she didn't wipe away. You left flowers, she said, every year on the anniversary at his grave. We always wondered who it was. Sarah nodded. I couldn't stay away. I needed him to know I was sorry, even if he couldn't hear it. We thought about installing cameras, Jim said, to catch whoever was doing it. But Carol said no. She said maybe it was someone who loved him. Maybe it was someone who needed to grieve. It was someone who killed him, Sarah whispered, and who's been trying to figure out how to live with that. We sat there for another hour. It wasn't comfortable. There were long silences. There were moments where Carol cried and Jim looked like he wanted to leave. But they stayed. And they listened. Before we left, Carol said something that surprised me. I don't forgive you. I can't. But I appreciate you coming here. I appreciate you finally telling the truth. That's more than I deserve, Sarah said. Yes, Carol agreed. It is. We left. Sarah cried the entire drive home, but I think it was different crying. Not guilty crying. Release crying. Like she'd been holding something inside for 13 years and finally let it out. Thank you for being there, she said when we got home. I couldn't have done that without you. I know. I thought that was the end of it, that we'd had our big confrontation, our closure, and now we could move forward. But then 3 days ago, I got a call from Emma. Marcus, are you home? Yeah, just got back from work. What's up? I'm coming over. Don't tell Sarah. I need to talk to you alone. Emma never calls me without Sarah knowing. They're working on rebuilding their relationship, but there are boundaries. So this was weird. She showed up 20 minutes later. Sarah was in her office on a work call. Emma and I sat in the living room. What's going on? I asked. Emma looked scared. Actually scared. I need to tell you something. Something I should have told you months ago when you first found out about everything. My stomach dropped. What? It's about the accident. About that night. Sarah told you the truth. Most of the truth. But there's one thing she left out. What thing? Emma took a deep breath. Sarah wasn't just a passenger that night. She wasn't just some drunk kid who made a bad choice getting in the car. Then what was she? She was the reason Tyler was driving. I stared at her. What does that mean? Tyler and Sarah. They were together. Not dating exactly, but they'd been hooking up for a few weeks. That night at the party, they got into a fight, a bad one. Sarah wanted to tell people about them, and Tyler didn't. He said she was too clingy, too intense, said it was just supposed to be casual. Oh, God. Sarah was devastated. She'd been drinking, and she got really drunk, really fast. She said some things, called him an asshole, told everyone at the party that Tyler had been using her. Tyler was humiliated, furious. He grabbed his keys and said he was leaving. And Sarah? Sarah followed him, begged him not to go, but also kept yelling at him, telling him he was a coward. The other two girls, Amy and Jess, they got in the car because they were friends with Tyler and they wanted to make sure he was okay. Sarah got in because she was still fighting with him. I felt sick. They were arguing in the car. Tyler was driving too fast, probably trying to scare her or prove something. Sarah was in the passenger seat screaming at him, and then he lost control. Jesus Christ. Sarah has spent 13 years blaming herself not just for getting in the car, but for being the reason he was driving angry, for escalating everything, for creating the situation that killed him. Why didn't she tell me this? Because it makes her look worse. Because the story she told you, drunk teenager makes bad choice, that's sympathetic. This story, the one where she was fighting with the driver and making him angrier while he drove, that's different. I sat there trying to process. Does anyone else know this? Our parents know. The other girls in the car know. Some people at the party that night know. It came out during the investigation that Sarah and Tyler were fighting, but it didn't make it into the news coverage. Our parents' lawyer made sure of that. So she lied to me. Again. She didn't lie exactly. She just didn't tell you the whole truth. That's the same fucking thing, Emma. I know. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm telling you. Because you deserve to know everything. Especially now that you're trying to rebuild trust. Does Sarah know you're here? No. And she's going to kill me when she finds out. But you need to know. If you're going to make this marriage work, you need to have all the information. Emma left. I sat there alone with this new information burning a hole in my brain. Sarah wasn't just a passenger. She was part of why Tyler crashed. She was fighting with him. She was the reason he was driving angry and reckless. It didn't change the basic facts. Tyler chose to drive drunk. But it added context that made Sarah's role more complicated. When Sarah came out of her office an hour later, I was still sitting on the couch. Hey babe, what do you want for dinner? Emma came by. Sarah froze. What? She told me about Tyler, about how you two were hooking up, about the fight, about how you were arguing with him when he crashed. The color drained from Sarah's face. Marcus, you lied to me. Again. After everything. After you promised no more lies. You lied. I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you every detail. That's a fucking lie. You know that's a lie. You told me you were just some drunk kid who made a bad choice. You left out that you were the reason Tyler was driving angry, that you were screaming at him in the car. That's not a detail, Sarah. That's the story. I was going to tell you. I swear I was going to tell you eventually. When? When were you going to tell me? When I found out some other way? When someone else told me? Just like with Emma? Just like with your parents? Just like with everything fucking else? I was yelling. Sarah was crying. This was familiar territory now, but this time felt different. This time felt like a breaking point. How many more lies are there? I asked. My voice was dead, flat. How many more things are you not telling me? How many more secrets am I going to discover? Nothing. There's nothing else. This was it. This was the last thing. That's what you said 3 months ago. That's what you've said every time. And then there's always something else. Always one more thing you forgot to mention. One more detail you left out. Marcus, please. I can't do this anymore. The words came out before I'd even decided to say them. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep finding out new things. I can't keep rebuilding trust just to have it broken again. Don't say that. Please don't say that. What do you want me to say? That it's okay? That I understand? I don't understand, Sarah. I don't understand how you can keep doing this to me. To us. I'm trying. I'm trying so hard to be better. But you're not better. You're still hiding things. You're still lying by omission. That's not better. That's just more of the same with a different label. Sarah collapsed onto the couch, sobbing. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't tell you because I was ashamed, because it makes me look awful, because I was scared you'd leave. So instead, you waited for me to find out another way? How is that better? It's not. I know it's not. I couldn't bring myself to tell you. I couldn't watch you look at me and know that I was screaming at Tyler while he drove us into a tree. That I was part of what killed him. I stood up. I needed space. I needed to get out of there. Where are you going? Sarah asked. I don't know. Away. I need to think. Marcus, please don't leave. Not like this. Let's talk about this. We've been talking for 4 months, and there's always something new. I'm tired of talking. I grabbed my keys and left. Sarah was still crying on the couch, but I couldn't stay there. I couldn't look at her. I drove. Nowhere specific. Just drove. Update 9, 2 days later. I've been staying at a hotel. Not my brother's place this time. I needed to be completely alone. Sarah's been calling, texting. Emma's been calling too. I've ignored them all. I spent the past 2 days just thinking. Really thinking about everything. The lies, the omissions, the secrets, the drip, drip, drip of new information that keeps changing everything I thought I knew. I keep coming back to one question. When does someone's trauma justify lying? And when does it stop being about trauma and start being about character? Sarah was 16 when Tyler died. She was a kid, a traumatized kid who made terrible choices and then spent 13 years trying to outrun them. But she was 22 when she met me. 23 when she told me her parents were dead. 25 when we got married and she stood in front of a room full of people and called me her family while her real family was hidden away. At what point does it stop being about the trauma and start being about who she is as a person? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. This morning, I finally called Emma back. Thank you for telling me, I said. I know that was hard. Sarah's furious with me. She said I betrayed her. You didn't. You told me the truth. Someone needed to. Are you going to leave her? I don't know. Emma was quiet for a moment. Can I tell you something? About Sarah? Sure. When we were kids, before Tyler, before everything, Sarah was the brave one. She was the twin who took risks, who stood up for people, who wasn't afraid of anything. After the accident, she became afraid of everything. Afraid of being known, afraid of being herself, afraid of being happy because she didn't think she deserved it. I don't see how that helps. It helps because you need to understand that the lies aren't about you. They're about her fear, about her belief that if people really knew her, they'd hate her. That doesn't make it okay. I know, but it makes it understandable. And maybe, if you can understand it, you can decide if it's forgivable. After we hung up, I thought about what Emma said. About fear. About Sarah being afraid to be known. I pulled up my text thread with Sarah, scrolled through months of messages. I love you. Miss you. Can't wait to see you. You make me so happy. Were those lies? Or were they true, despite everything else? I texted her. We need to talk. Face to face. Tomorrow. She responded immediately. Yes. Anytime. Anywhere. Thank you. Update 10. Yesterday. We met at our apartment. Our home. The place we'd built together. Sarah looked terrible. She'd obviously been crying for days, not sleeping, falling apart. Part of me felt bad for her. Part of me was still too angry to care. Thank you for coming, she said. I live here, I reminded her. This is my home too. I know. I wasn't sure if you'd ever come back. We sat down. Same positions as 4 months ago when I first found out about Emma. Full circle. I need you to tell me everything, I said. And I mean everything. Every secret, every lie, every omission, every single thing you've kept from me. Because this is your last chance. If I find out one more thing after today, one more detail you forgot to mention, I'm done. I'm filing for divorce and I'm walking away. Sarah nodded. She looked terrified. Okay. I'm serious, Sarah. This is it. Complete honesty or we're over. I understand. For the next 3 hours, Sarah told me everything. And I mean everything. She told me about the investigation after Tyler's death, about how the police questioned everyone at the party, about how multiple people testified that Sarah and Tyler had been fighting, about how Amy, the girl who was paralyzed, told investigators that Sarah had been screaming at Tyler while he drove. She told me about the civil lawsuit Tyler's parents filed against her family, how it was settled out of court for an undisclosed amount, how part of the settlement included a non-disclosure agreement about certain details of the accident. She told me about the 2 years after the accident, about the severe depression, about the suicide attempt when she was 17, pills and vodka, and her mom finding her in time. I wanted to die, Sarah said. I thought Tyler's death should have been my death, that I was supposed to die in that crash and I didn't, and everything after was borrowed time I didn't deserve. She told me about the eating disorder she developed at boarding school, about the therapist there who finally helped her understand she needed to forgive herself, about deciding to reinvent herself as a way to move forward. She told me about the first time she used her new identity, Sarah Mitchell, to introduce herself to someone at college. How easy it was. How freeing it felt to be someone with no past. I was addicted to it, she said, to being someone new, someone clean, someone who hadn't killed anyone. She told me about meeting me, about how she knew from the first date that she should tell me the truth but couldn't bring herself to do it. I thought I'd tell you before things got serious. But then things got serious so fast, and I was terrified of losing you. So I told myself I'd tell you before we got engaged, then before the wedding, then after the wedding, and then it had been years, and I didn't know how to unravel it all. She told me about the guilt, about the therapy she'd been in on and off for years, about the medication she takes for anxiety and depression, medication I knew about but didn't know was connected to all of this. She told me about reconnecting with Emma, about how it happened gradually over years, about how seeing Emma made her remember who she used to be, about how she wanted to be sisters again but didn't know how to explain it to me. And then she told me the thing I wasn't expecting. I'm pregnant. The room stopped. Everything stopped. What? I'm pregnant. About 6 weeks. I found out last week. I was going to tell you when you got home from work that day, but then Emma came over and everything fell apart and I didn't know how to tell you. I couldn't speak, couldn't think, couldn't process. Say something, Sarah whispered. Are you sure? I took 3 tests. They were all positive. I have a doctor's appointment scheduled for next week. A baby. We were going to have a baby. I'd always wanted kids. We'd talked about it. In a few years, Sarah always said. When we're ready. Were we ready? Were we anywhere close to ready? Is it mine? The question came out before I could stop it. Sarah looked like I'd slapped her. Of course it's yours. How could I? Are you seriously asking me that? After everything? After finding out you've been lying to me for 7 years? You really think it's crazy that I'd question whether my wife is pregnant with my child? I haven't been with anyone else, ever. You're the only person I've slept with since we met. How do I know that's true? Because I'm telling you it's true. Your word doesn't mean much to me right now, Sarah. She started crying again. I know I've destroyed your trust, but I'm telling you the truth. This baby is yours. We made this baby. You and me. I stood up, started pacing. A baby. Jesus Christ, a baby. I can't do this, I said. I can't make this decision right now. The decision about us, about whether I stay or go, I can't make it with this new information. It's not fair. What do you want me to do? I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. We sat in silence, the weight of everything pressing down on both of us. Finally, I said, I need time. More time. I need to figure out if I can forgive you, if I can trust you, if I can build a life with you. And now there's a baby involved, and that changes everything. I know. Do you want this baby? Sarah looked at me, really looked at me. Yes, I want this baby, our baby. But I only want it if you're all in. I won't raise a child in a broken marriage. I won't put a kid through that. So what are you saying? I'm saying you need to decide. Really decide. Can you forgive me? Can you trust me again? Can you be my husband and the father of our child? Because if you can't, if you're going to spend the rest of our marriage waiting for the next lie, then we should end this now. You're giving me an ultimatum? I'm giving us both clarity. We can't keep doing this. The back and forth. The maybe, maybe not. Either we're together and we work through this, or we're not and we move on. But we need to decide. She was right. I hated that she was right, but she was. I need a week, I said. 1 week to think about everything. About us. About the baby. About whether I can really forgive you. Okay. And you need to promise me, swear to me, that everything you told me today was the truth. All of it. No more surprises. I swear, that was everything. Every secret, every lie, every detail I've kept from you. It's all out now. It better be. Because if I find out there's more, there isn't. I promise you, there isn't. I left again. Went back to my hotel. I've been here for the past 24 hours. A baby. We're going to have a baby. Current update. Today. It's been a week. The week I asked for to make my decision. I've thought about everything. I've made lists, pros and cons, reasons to stay, reasons to go. I've talked to my brother, to my best friend from college, to Dr. Chen, our couples therapist, to my mom, despite our complicated relationship. Everyone has opinions. Everyone thinks they know what I should do. But ultimately, this is my choice, my life, my marriage. Here's what I know. Sarah lied to me, repeatedly, about huge things. She built our entire relationship on a foundation of deception. That's true. That's indisputable. That's something I'll never forget. But here's what else I know. The Sarah I fell in love with. The woman who laughs at stupid movies, who brings me coffee in bed on Sundays, who cries when she sees elderly couples holding hands, who texts me random I love yous in the middle of the day. That woman is real. She's not a character Sarah invented. She's who Sarah became when she finally felt safe enough to be happy. And yeah, she got there through lies, through reinvention, through running away from a past she couldn't face. But that doesn't make the love fake. It doesn't make our marriage meaningless. It doesn't make the life we built together a lie. It just makes it complicated. I've spent this week thinking about Tyler Brennan, about a 17-year-old kid who made a stupid decision and died for it, about how Sarah has carried that weight for 13 years, about how she's tried to earn her right to be alive by being the best person she could be. Is that healthy? No. Dr. Chen has told us 100 times that Sarah needs to forgive herself, not just try to be someone worthy of forgiveness. But is it understandable? Yeah, I think it is. I've also thought about the baby, about what kind of father I want to be, about what kind of marriage I want my child to grow up seeing. Do I want my kid to see a father who walked away when things got hard? Or a father who stayed and fought for his marriage? Do I want my kid to see a mother crushed by guilt and secrets? Or a mother who faced her past and survived it? I don't have all the answers, but I know what I need to do. I'm going home. I got to the apartment an hour ago. Sarah was in the kitchen. She looked up when I walked in, and I could see the fear in her eyes. The hope. The desperation. "Hi," she said. "Hi." We stood there, neither of us knowing how to start. Finally, I said, "I'm staying." Sarah's face crumpled. She grabbed onto the counter like her legs might give out. "But I have conditions," I continued. "Non-negotiable conditions. Anything. We continue therapy. Individual for you, couples for us. No skipping sessions, no quitting when it gets hard. Yes. You reconnect with your parents properly. No more keeping them at arm's length. If we're having a baby, that baby deserves to know their grandparents." Okay. You tell our close friends the truth. Not everyone, not the whole world, but the people who matter. My brother, our best friends. They deserve to know who you really are. Sarah hesitated at that one, but nodded. Okay. And this is the big one. If you ever lie to me again, about anything, no matter how small, we're done. I will leave and I won't come back. One more lie, and this marriage is over. I understand. I'm serious, Sarah. I'm giving you everything I have left. My trust, my faith, my commitment to this marriage, but I can't do it again. I can't survive another betrayal. There won't be one. I swear to you, Marcus, no more lies, ever. I walked over to her, put my hands on her face, looked into her eyes that looked just like Emma's but somehow completely different. "I love you," I said. "I love you and I hate what you did and I'm still angry and hurt and I don't know if I'll ever completely trust you again, but I love you and I want to try. For us, for our baby. I want to try." Sarah kissed me, crying and kissing me and holding on to me like I might disappear. "I love you too," she sobbed. "I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you for giving me another chance. Don't make me regret it. I won't. I promise I won't." We held each other in our kitchen, in the home we built together, the home that would soon have a baby in it. It wasn't a fairy tale ending. There was no magical moment where everything was suddenly okay. We were still broken, still healing, still figuring out how to trust each other. But we were together, and we were trying. That's all we could do. Update 11. 2 months later. Things have been different. Better in some ways, harder in others. Sarah started seeing a trauma therapist 3 times a week. Dr. Martinez specializes in PTSD and survivor's guilt. Sarah comes home from sessions exhausted, sometimes crying, but she says it's helping. I'm finally processing it, she told me last week. Really processing what happened, not just running from it. We're still doing couples therapy with Dr. Chen. It's less about the lies now and more about rebuilding, about learning how to communicate, about me learning how to trust again and Sarah learning how to be vulnerable without fear. It's slow work. Some days are good. Some days I look at Sarah and feel the anger rise up all over again. Last week she mentioned something casually, some story from her childhood, and I realized it was the first time I'd heard it. Not because she was hiding it, but because she'd never had the chance to tell me before. Her whole childhood was off limits when she was pretending her parents were dead. Tell me more, I said. I want to know everything. All the stories I missed. So now we have these nights where Sarah tells me about her real childhood, about growing up with Emma, about her parents, about the girl she was before Tyler died. It's like getting to know her all over again, the real her. We told my brother the truth. That was hard. He was pissed at first, pissed that Sarah had lied, pissed that I'd kept it from him for months. You should have told me right away, he said. I know. I was processing. He came around eventually, even apologized to Sarah for being harsh. I get it, he said. Trauma makes people do fucked up things. I just wish you'd trusted Marcus. Enough to tell him from the start. So do I, Sarah said. We also told our two closest couple friends, Jake and Melissa, who we've known for 3 years. That conversation was awkward as hell. Wait, so you have a twin sister? Melissa asked. Yes. And your parents are alive? Yes. And you've been lying about this the entire time we've known you? Yes, I'm sorry. There was this long pause where Jake and Melissa just looked at each other, having some kind of silent conversation. Finally, Jake said, "That's the craziest shit I've ever heard. But okay, we're still friends. Just no more lying, all right?" No more lying, Sarah agreed. Meeting Sarah's parents regularly has been good. Strange, but good. We go to Connecticut every other weekend now. Her mom is helping Sarah prepare for the baby, giving her advice, helping us shop for nursery stuff. Her dad and I have started this weird tradition where we go for walks while Sarah and her mom talk. He tells me stories about Sarah and Emma as kids. They were inseparable, he said last weekend. When Sarah pushed Emma away after the accident, it broke Emma's heart. Broke all our hearts. But we understood. Sometimes people need to break completely before they can heal. Do you think she's healing now? I think she's trying, and I think you're helping her. You gave her a reason to stop running. Emma comes over for dinner once a week now. We're all getting used to the twin thing. Sometimes I still do a double take when Emma walks in and I think it's Sarah for a split second. Emma's dating someone, a guy named David who's a high school teacher. He came to dinner last week and spent the whole night staring between Emma and Sarah with this bewildered expression. It's so fucking weird, he whispered to me while Sarah and Emma were in the kitchen. They're identical but completely different. You get used to it. How? I don't know. You just do. The pregnancy is going well. Sarah's 14 weeks now. We had our first ultrasound 2 weeks ago and heard the heartbeat. Sarah cried. I cried. Emma cried. She came with us because Sarah wanted her there. That's your niece or nephew, Sarah told her sister. That's my first niece or nephew, Emma said. Don't forget, I get to be the fun aunt. We haven't found out the sex yet. Sarah wants to wait. I don't care either way. I just want a healthy baby. And a healthy wife. But here's the thing nobody tells you about rebuilding trust. It's not linear. There are good days where everything feels normal, where I look at Sarah and see my wife, my partner, the mother of my child. And then there are bad days where something triggers me and I'm right back in that moment of finding out she lied, where I question everything, where I wonder what else I don't know. 2 weeks ago, Sarah came home late from therapy. She usually gets home by 8 p.m. That night, it was 9:30 p.m. I texted her, "Where are you?" No response. I texted again, "Sarah, you were supposed to be home an hour ago." Still nothing. By 9:45 p.m., I was pacing. My mind was going to dark places. Was she really at therapy? Was there another secret? Another lie? She walked in at 9:50 p.m. looking tired and apologetic. "I'm so sorry," she said. "My session ran late and then I stopped to get gas and I forgot to text you and my phone died." She showed me her dead phone. She had gas station receipt time-stamped at 9:15 p.m. Everything checked out, but I'd spent that hour and a half convinced she was lying to me, convinced there was another secret apartment, another hidden life. "I can't do this," I said. "I can't live like this, constantly wondering if you're telling me the truth." Sarah looked devastated. "I am telling you the truth. I'll always tell you the truth now. What do you need? Do you want me to text you every hour? Do you want to track my location?" No, I don't want to be that husband. I don't want our marriage to be me surveilling you. Then what do you want? I want to trust you, but I don't know how to get there. We talked to Dr. Chen about it in our next session. She said what I was experiencing was normal. Trust isn't a switch you flip, she said. It's something you rebuild slowly, over time, through consistent honesty. Marcus, you're going to have moments of doubt. That's okay. That's part of the process. How long will it take? There's no timeline. Some couples rebuild trust in a year. Some take 5 years. Some never fully get there, but learn to live with uncertainty. That's not comforting. It's not meant to be comforting. It's meant to be honest. You both need to accept that this is going to be hard for a long time. So that's where we are. Taking it day by day. Some days are good. Some days are hard. But we're both still here. Still trying. Update 12, 4 months later, present day. I'm writing this final update because I think I finally have some clarity, some perspective on everything that's happened. Sarah is 7 months pregnant now. We found out we're having a girl. Emma sobbed when we told her, said she couldn't wait to teach her niece all the things she taught Sarah when they were kids. Sarah's relationship with her parents is better than it's been in over a decade. Her mom is flying out to stay with us for a month after the baby is born. Her dad is building a crib, insists on doing it himself even though we could just buy one. I didn't get to do this the first time, he said. With Sarah's kids. Let me do it now. Sarah's still in therapy, still processing, still healing, but she's different now, lighter somehow, like she's not carrying the same weight. Last month, she did something I never expected. She wrote a letter to Amy, the girl who was paralyzed in the crash. She asked if Amy would be willing to meet with her. Amy said yes. They met at a coffee shop. Sarah asked me to come with her, but I said no. This was something she needed to do, alone. She was gone for 3 hours. When she came home, she looked drained but peaceful. How did it go? I asked. It was hard. Amy's still angry. She has every right to be angry. Her whole life changed that night. Sarah paused. But she said she appreciated me reaching out. She said she's been in therapy for years trying to process her anger at Tyler, at me, at everyone who was at that party. She said my letter was part of her healing. Did you apologize? I did. And she said she forgives me. Not because what I did was okay, but because holding on to hate was killing her. She said she needed to let it go. Sarah started crying. She forgives me, Marcus. After 13 years, after everything, she forgives me. Do you forgive yourself? Sarah thought about it. I'm getting there. I don't know if I'll ever fully forgive myself, but I'm learning to live with what I did, to accept it as part of my story without letting it be my entire story. That felt like progress, real progress. As for us, Sarah and me, we're okay. Not perfect, not fixed, but okay. I trust her more now. Not completely. I don't know if I'll ever trust her completely again, but more. Enough. Enough to plan for our daughter's future. Enough to talk about names and nursery colors and whether we want another kid someday. Enough to build a life together that feels real. Last week, we renewed our vows. Just the two of us and a judge. Nothing fancy. But we wanted to do it properly this time. With Sarah's real name, her real age, her real history. I, Sarah Elizabeth Castellano Mitchell, take you, Marcus, to be my husband, and I promise to always tell you the truth, even when it's hard, even when I'm scared, especially then. When it was my turn, I said, I, Marcus, take you, Sarah, all of you, past and present, to be my wife, and I promise to keep choosing you. Every day, even on the hard days, especially on the hard days. We signed the paperwork. It's legal now, a marriage built on truth instead of lies. Emma was our witness. She cried through the whole thing. I'm so proud of you, she told Sarah afterward. You did it. You faced everything and you survived. So that's my story. That's how I found out my wife had a secret twin sister and a secret past and a secret everything. It's been almost 8 months since I followed that AirTag to Emma's apartment. 8 months of therapy and tears and truth and trying. Some of you probably think I'm an idiot for staying, that I should have left the moment I found out about the lies, that once a liar, always a liar. Maybe you're right. Maybe in 5 years or 10 years, I'll discover something else, some other secret Sarah kept, and maybe that will be the thing that finally breaks us. But I don't think so. I think Sarah meant it when she promised no more lies. I think facing her past, really facing it, not running from it, changed her. And I think we have a chance, a real chance, to build something that's messy and complicated but true. Our daughter will be here in 2 months. We're naming her Lily. Sarah's mom's middle name, a name that's part of Sarah's real history. Lily will grow up knowing her grandparents, knowing her Aunt Emma, knowing the truth about who her parents are, the good and the bad. We won't lie to her. We won't hide our past from her. We'll teach her that everyone makes mistakes, some bigger than others, and what matters is how you face them. She'll grow up in a home where honesty is valued, where trust is sacred, where love is complicated but worth fighting for. And maybe that's enough. Maybe that's all any of us can hope for. Final thoughts. If you're reading this because you're going through something similar, because your partner lied to you, because you discovered secrets, because your whole relationship feels like it was built on sand, I can't tell you what to do. Every situation is different. Every lie is different. Every person's capacity for forgiveness is different. But I will say this, trust your gut. If something feels wrong, it probably is. If your partner is lying, you deserve to know the truth. All of it. And if they do come clean, really come clean, then you have to decide, is this relationship worth saving? For me, the answer was yes. Sarah's lies were born from trauma, not malice. She wasn't trying to hurt me. She was trying to survive. That doesn't excuse the lies, but it made them forgivable. For me, in my situation. Your situation might be different. Your partner's lies might be different. And that's okay. You get to decide what you can live with. Just make sure you're making the choice consciously, not out of fear or convenience or because you've already invested so much time. Make the choice because you genuinely believe your relationship can be something real, something true, something worth fighting for. For me and Sarah, it was worth fighting for. Despite everything, despite the lies and the secrets and the pain, we're building something new now, something honest. It's not perfect. It never will be. But it's ours. And it's real. And sometimes, that's enough. Edit. Holy shit, I didn't expect this to blow up like this. Thank you for all the comments and messages, some supportive, some calling me an idiot, some sharing your own stories. I've read them all. A few people asked if Sarah has read it and if she's seen this. No, she doesn't use Reddit. And yes, I told her I was posting our story. She said it was okay. Said maybe it would help someone else who's struggling with their past. Someone asked what I would tell my younger self, the Marcus from 8 months ago who just discovered Emma's apartment. I'd tell him, it's going to be hard, harder than you can imagine. But if you love her, really love her, it's worth working through. Just make sure she does the work too. Both of you have to be all in. Someone else asked if I regret the AirTag. Honestly, no. If I hadn't followed it, I might have gone years more without knowing the truth. And that truth, as painful as it was necessary. You can't build a real relationship on lies, even comfortable lies. And to the person who said I have Stockholm Syndrome or whatever, I get why you think that. From the outside, it probably looks crazy that I stayed, but you're not living my life. You don't know Sarah the way I know her. You don't see the work she's put in to change. I'm not saying everyone in my position should stay. I'm just saying I did, and I'm okay with that choice. Anyway, I think this is really the end of updates now. Sarah and I have a life to live, a daughter to prepare for, a marriage to keep building. Thank you all for listening, for the support, for the tough love, for sharing your stories. I hope everyone out there finds their truth, whatever it looks like. And I hope you have the courage to face it head on. That's all any of us can do.